principles, looking at Bunkai Strategies, what we've got to look at is that whatever we do, we're going to use both hands. So we often see things where someone will know that they're making a strike, and they'll do things like, the guy's coming in with a hook over here, and what we're going to do is we're going to hit here, or maybe we're going to hit here. And they'll sit there in their kata doing this, and you just go, well, what's that hand doing? Because if it's not doing anything, don't put it there. You know, if you're going to just strike, then just strike. Right? You don't need that hand to be there to strike. So for that hand to be there, it's got to be doing something. What? Well, loads of different things it can be doing. The first one, and simplest one, is that having entered the situation, we're going to pull to bring them onto it. So that would be our simplest use for that hand, would be to pull. The next level up from pulling would be that we're going to ensnare to strike. You see the different reaction. The first one, pulling, adds the opponent's body weight to the strike. The second one can cause a physical change in them so that we can perhaps raise them, we can set the limb to create a vulnerability. The third method is what we call the inside, or the ura, the back of the technique, which is to say that if I'm making a shape like this in front of me, the opponent's not on the outside of the technique, the umote, they're on the inside of the technique. So we look at that supporting hand and we say, well, actually, what I want to do is put the other person into that space. Now that hand there is empty now. So why? Oh, we need to use both hands. Well, let's just take something. And then maybe we can get a lock on there with it as well. And that way both hands are doing something and we don't have any redundancy. So our techniques using both hands start off with the simplest techniques that we learn. If I'm doing Gidan Barai, we're not going to have a straight punch coming into the middle and take them here with this hand doing nothing. At the very, very simplest level, it's got to be pulling on him while that other hand goes down. Now I'm going to put that other hand somewhere that does something useful. If I were to take that hand, it's not going to be take that hand and strike here. I need to locate that to strike so that it's useful. Both hands have got to work. The idea that you can grip someone comes about by training methods of ensnaring. If you never train to grip someone while you're moving, you never manage it. So you can do little things like the shove and push drill so that we work the hip and get used to this tactile awareness, and that can be changed into a grip at a moment's notice. Those kind of drills, along with spiraling kake, turn into things that we can use to enable us to snare when we need to. Practicing things like that teaches us that even when you're doing something like 5-step or 3-step kumite, when you're making a jodan that gets an agi-uki response here, we're not using that hand. But I can still use this kind of drill to teach myself about the pressure that's going on here, so that when the press comes in, I'm aware of that movement without necessarily staring. I'm not saying do it blindfold. I'm saying that you don't need to be watching that or watching that. We can just have a general awareness, feel the pressure, and know when they're going to move, because we feel the pressure of the contact once it's already made. Those kind of little tactile awareness drills help us to enable us to grab if we needed to. So that's our next principle, the idea that when you're doing any of the kata bunkai, when you're doing any kind of application, you're going to be using both hands.